Hello, it's your boy Davidoff. Marvel's What If Episode 9, the finale, has dropped, and it was pretty damn good. I wish these were longer, man. They're all like half an hour long. I really wish they were longer, but, you know, for the length that they are, they're good. They're good. I didn't think they'd team up, actually. I didn't see all the previews, but like until Episode 7, I didn't realize they'd cross over anything. So I was just like, oh, that's interesting. I thought they were all standalone, but they're not. I mean, some are still separate anyway, but they still connected like 7 episodes, which is pretty cool. There's also a lost episode. So Gamora turns up in this with Thanos armor. She has a weapon called the Infinity Crusher, which I assume destroys the Infinity Stones. And in this universe, she's killed Thanos. She's killed Thanos. I'm just like, when was this episode? I never saw this. And thankfully, I wasn't the only one confused. There's a missing episode. That's why I thought there were 10 episodes in this. I was just like, wait, episode 9 finale? That can't be right. Yes, there were 10 episodes, but one wasn't released. I think, was it COVID or something to do with production? Something to do with production. They didn't make it in time. But there is a missing episode that involves Tony Stark for some reason. But Gamora has killed Thanos, and she has a weapon called the Infinity Crusher. She's more of a badass. She's already a badass, but a bit more of a badass in this because she actually killed Thanos. But still, like, this episode completely missing from this. I'm just like, where did she come from? When was the episode? The episode does exist, it just hasn't been released. So hopefully in season 2 they do show that episode off because that would be great. So, obviously Ultron has caused some chaos and he's had to call from... Sorry, what? The Watcher... The Watcher obviously has trouble trying to defeat Ultron. He's realized that Ultron's a little too powerful and he needs to be stopped. So here's how the crossover happens. The Watcher has to go to different universes and pull out characters from each episode to form an unlikely team, assemble them together to defeat Ultron. So that's the premise and it's cool. So I mentioned in episode 1, I think, I like the parallels between the animation of What If and real life movies. They take actual scenes and change a character or an element, and it's the same scene but also with a different character in a way. And we saw a lot of that in the episode 1 with Captain Carter. Once again, they did it again, and to be honest, it was my favourite one. My favourite parallel of the entire series was the Winter Soldier parallel. So, if you remember, Captain America Winter Soldier, which came out 2014, great movie. One of the best, probably the best solo movie in the MCU. Remember when Steve, at the start of the movie, jumps out of a plane and jumps onto a ship and takes people out, fights Batroc? Yes, Captain Carter does this. She jumps out of a plane, lands on a ship, beats people up, fights Batroc. I'm just like, this is awesome. Because it was exactly the same as that other scene from the movie, except it was a different character and it still looked badass. You know, it still looked bloody good. I loved that parallel, absolutely loved it. One of the things I looked forward to most was the parallels in this, so yeah, I appreciate that one. Anyway, the Watcher, at a given point, pulls characters out at a certain point in time. So, in Captain Carter's case, she's fighting Batroc on the ship, the Watcher turns up, pulls her out of the universe. T'Challa is pulled out, so at the end of his episode, the episode about him becoming Star-Lord, at the end, Ego found Peter Quill. And in a previous review, I said I would love to see what happens next. Well, we saw what happened next. T'Challa saved Peter Quill, and I think the Watcher killed Ego. I can't remember for sure, but I think the Watcher killed him. But either way, T'Challa saved Peter Quill, which is quite cool in itself. But the Watcher decides to pull T'Challa out. He also pulls out King Killmonger. Yes, the guy who caused so much chaos, killed so many people. Yes, the Watcher pulled him out. Pulled out a villain, which was a nice twist. Sometimes you need the edge of a villain to defeat a villain. If you catch my drift. Yeah, so that was cool. I also like that for the fact of Killmonger meeting that T'Challa. One thing that confuses me is how did T'Challa know that he was his cousin? Because he didn't find that out until the Black Panther movie, right? and T'Challa in his universe went to space, etc. You know what I mean? Like, when did he find out? Did he research? Did he ask? I guess Killmonger went to Wakanda before T'Challa came back to Earth, and then T'Challa's family told him. Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, he probably would have been told. I think, to be fair, he was in space for a long time. But it was cool seeing Killmonger's reaction, because this is a different T'Challa. This isn't the noble king of Wakanda. It is, for sure, of course. But I mean, like, in this universe, he's basically a space pirate. And he thieves and steals things with his fellow space pirates. So Killmonger meeting him was quite interesting, because he's like, wow, you really are from a different universe. And I like the interactions. The interactions between these characters were pretty cool. Obviously, you had Bad Doctor Strange as well, who was the most powerful one easily. He had to help, of course, obviously, as teased in the previous episode. They also pulled out Party Thor. Obviously, that was teased anyway in episode 7. In Party Thor's episode, we saw at the end how Ultron came in. So we knew that was coming anyway. One thing that confuses me is, in the Party Thor episodes, Captain Marvel was in it, right? And she was pretty damn powerful. She took on Thor one-on-one, and she held her own. Like, she took hits to the head from Thor's hammer, and she got up and kept fighting. Why didn't the Watcher pull her out as well? Was there like a rule he had to pull only one person out? Like, why would you not bring Captain Marvel? That doesn't make sense to me. just take Captain Marvel with you as well. Like, she's got the power for that. Wouldn't you think that? Like, Captain Marvel's right there. Also, to be fair, you could take Thanos, can't you? The good Thanos. I mean, you probably want to take a bad Thanos in fairness, but I mean, still, any version of Thanos. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. But regardless, the first one is what is interesting to me. Why not take Captain Marvel? You just saw a whole episode of her fighting Thor, and she was okay. He was okay too, sure, but they were having a pretty even fight. Why not pull her out as well? It is what it is. It is what it is. Who else did he pull? Yeah, I think that's pretty it. So pretty much it. I can't speak properly, but this episode excited me that much. Gamora, Infinity Crusher. It's a cool weapon. It's a cool weapon that would have been useful in Infinity War. Yeah, and also Endgame, although she was dead in Endgame. Well, she was alive, but a different version. But you get the point. Either way, a weapon like that would have been very nice. Apparently, she made it with Eitri the Dwarf and Tony Stark in Nidavellir. I think that's where it was made. I think that's the details that we know about the missing What If episode. So let's skip forward a bit. They have a plan of attack, and of course Thor would be the one wanting to show off, and he ruins the plan by going to attack first by himself, and he gets owned. This reminds me of a DC animated movie. If you guys watch those, if you've seen Justice League War, came out 2017? It came out within the last 10 years. Justice League War. Look it up. It's an animated movie where the Justice League, they just became a team and they fought Darkseid, but they just became a team, so they're not like coordinated. So there's a scene where they're meant to attack. They're meant to, plan. Green Lantern says, I got this. And he goes and fights Darkseid by himself. Gets smashed. He gets his arm broken. That reminds me of Thor in this episode. Thor tried to show off, went in on his own when he should be sticking to the game plan. And he got owned. So I thought, for some reason, I thought of that immediately. I'm just like, huh. Because they both pretty much said, watch this. Here's my power. Nope. I don't know. It's probably on YouTube. Just watch the clip of Green Lantern doing that. It's literally the same scene, just with different characters and a different landscape. So they got to take the Soul Stone. Apparently that's key for the Infinity Crusher, and the way T'Challa took it was actually pretty damn cool. So that was a nice little touch. Also, Doctor Strange's powers are very OP, and there was one scene where Thor threw his hammer and Doctor Strange multiplied it, and you see thousands of forehammers surrounding Ultron. That was a shot and a half. I would have loved to see that in live action. I'm just saying. Probably it would cost a lot for CGI, but my word, would that look cool. It looks cool in animation though. It looks pretty damn cool. But my favorite part, probably. Actually, was it? Yes, it was. Yes, it was. Because I loved the zombie episodes. Was it Doctor Strange or The Watcher? A portal is opened from the sky. And Marvel zombies come flying down on top of Ultron. Obviously, he's a robot, so he's not going to get eaten alive, or he's not going to turn into a zombie himself. But he gets swarmed by these zombies, right? He takes care of them pretty easily. Like, he takes care of the zombies pretty easily eventually. They do surround him, they're on top of him, but he gets out of it pretty easily, even though there's thousands of them. But then you see zombie Scarlet Witch. And at this point, the team has got to pull out. They got to pull out the universe. Zombie Scarlet Witch is scary. And I was just like, zombie Scarlet Witch versus Ultron? This version of Ultron who has all Infinity Stones? Sign me up! The fight's over in like 2 seconds. Like, she's very powerful, and then Ultron just blows everything up. So, and then also, like, Scarlet Witch, zombie Scarlet Witch, she's a zombie. She's a zombie, but when Ultron was about to blow the planet, she showed emotion. She's a zombie. You're telling me Scarlet Witch, if she's a zombie, shows some sort of like shock or emotion before she dies? Zombies don't show emotion. What's going on here? I know it's Scarlet Witch, but she's still a zombie. She's still dead. Like, what's going on? I was just like, wait, why was the zombie shocked that was gonna die? That's more of a human trait, not a zombie trait. I guess zombies don't exist, so we wouldn't know what they would actually be like. But still, that's quite something. The battle for the Soul Stone was quite cool. And then eventually you get Time Stone versus Time Stone. Because obviously Ultron has a Time Stone, which is actually pretty overpowered when you think about it. Like, you can mess with time. Like, Ultron could have just slowed them down. Eventually he did that. I'm just like, could have thought of that earlier. You're pretty smart. But he slowed everyone down. But Doctor Strange had his own Time Stone, obviously. Eye of Agamotto. And it was Time Stone versus Time Stone, which is actually a pretty cool shot as well. And there was one point where they thought they destroyed Ultron with the Infinity Crusher. They did sort of take the stones and everything. But the problem is, the Infinity Stones are unique in every universe. So that means the Infinity Crusher is also not going to work the same. So that Infinity Crusher only works in its own universe. It doesn't work on the universe where they tried to kill Ultron. So that plan went out the window. But you see, we all forgot. I mean, I forgot. Maybe you didn't forget. But literally the previous episode, they created a virus to kill Ultron with, containing Zola. And I was just like, oh, wait a second. Yeah. I saw Black Widow picking up. I'm just like, how did I forget about that? I watched this last week. I was just like, wait, oh yeah, that exists. Did they not bring this up earlier? Oh, to be fair, she wasn't part of the planning, was she? She's the Black Widow from the universe where she's the only survivor of Ultron's attack. So that kind of makes sense. Actually, but the Watcher would have known, right? The Watcher would have known that the arrow's there. Why didn't they? Surely the Watcher should have known as well that the Infinity Crusher wouldn't have worked either. The Watcher, mate, you are sus. I'm just saying, you might be an imposter. You get to the finale, and the twists that do happen didn't actually surprise me. I kind of, like, I didn't see them coming, but I could have seen them coming. If you told me they were coming, I would not have been surprised at all. I'm not to say it's a bad thing. I'm just saying, like, I know a little too much. I kind of thought about these things possibly happening. So, Zola, the virus was inserted into Ultron. I mean, someone shot an arrow into Ultron containing the green Zola virus, and Zola takes over Ultron. And yeah, Ultron dies. Ultron is taken out. He takes over Ultron's body and mind. Everything is fine. But now Zola has control over his body. Right? They didn't think of this part, but he has control over his body. But another issue is Killmonger. King Killmonger. Now, obviously, he would do this. Why wouldn't he? They even did a scene earlier in the episode saying, I can't remember who it was, which two characters, but one was like, "Do you trust him? Do you trust him?" No, someone asked Party Thor. Thor was the one that was asked. Who asked the question? I can't remember. It wasn't T'Challa, but they were questioning whether they should trust King Killmonger, right? So I was thinking, he's gonna do something to benefit himself. There's no way he's here to save. I mean, he's here to save the universe because he's part of the universe, but he's not here for good intentions. He probably has his own agenda. So when he's trying to take the Infinity Stones, it was pretty obvious he was gonna do that. So he took the Infinity Stones. He took them, and now there was a new superpower. And I thought this was going to be like a season 2 tease or something, that he would become this all-powerful being, and that would have been cool to see, but that didn't last very long. Basically, Killmonger and Zola, they clashed, and Doctor Strange trapped them in, I think it was it mirror dimension? Was it a mirror dimension? Or no, it wasn't. Because in the mirror dimension, you can still move around. I'm pretty sure they just froze in a little like the dimension that looks like a mirror dimension, and Doctor Strange has to guard it. So he has to guard. There's Killmonger, and there's Zola Ultron, and they are trapped. They are trapped in this little tiny glass ball that Doctor Strange has to guard, and they simply cannot get out of there, or else bad things will happen. So that's interesting, but it leaves it open the possibility of that evil Killmonger or that evil Zola returning. So that's some interesting possible what if episodes in the pipeline if we do get them. And yeah, eventually everyone gets sent back. Everyone gets sent back to the point they were taken from. So Captain Carter goes back to fighting Batroc. Did they see? Where did T'Challa go back? I don't think they showed every single scene, but they sent everyone back to the point where they were taken from. And as for Natasha, Black Widow from the Dead universe, she was the only survivor of that universe where everyone else died. Ultron killed everyone except for her. So the Watcher sends her to a new universe, and in this universe, Black Widow died. Yes, the Avengers lost Black Widow in this universe. So she is sent to that universe to be Black Widow. Black Widow's there, she's back. She's with the team fighting on the ship that seems like the ship where they fought in Age of Ultron. So that was pretty cool. You know the ship at the end where it comes up into the air? It looked like that scene. But that was also a nice touch. You know, she had no one else in the universe left. Everyone died except for her. So she got sent to a universe where she died and everyone else survived. I think that's kind of poetic in a way. And also a nice ending for her. Also, Nick Fury immediately recognized it wasn't his Natasha. Like, he noticed it was a different widow. I'm wondering how he knew that. Like, it seems a little bit convenient that he just automatically knew she wasn't theirs. Like, it seemed convenient that no one was shocked that she returned, considering she died in that universe. Like, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. But yeah, that's pretty much it. There's an after credit scene, though. There's an after credit scene. So, Captain Carter. It seems like we're getting more Captain Carter in Season 2, because she was taken... Okay, the ship in Winter Soldier, right? The ship that she fights Batroc on. There is a crate. What are they called? What are those big crates called that go on ships? I can't remember. They're not called crates, are they? Container. Is that the word? I swear there's another word. Shipping container. Is that it? You know what I'm talking about, right? One of the shipping containers on the ship contains the Hydra Stomper, right? So this is the big metal suit that Steve pilots in episode 1. So I'm sitting here thinking, why is it here? How is it here? And Natasha tells Captain Carter that there's someone inside, teasing that it's possibly Steve. Now I'm sitting here thinking, how did Steve survive? Where I'm confused. Did he get captured? Is he the Winter Soldier of that universe? Like, what's going on there? I'm guessing Steve got frozen in ice as well, but he's in his suit. So maybe he's an old man in the suit. That could work. Obviously, in the movies, Captain America lives ages, obviously, and Peggy Carter dies of old age. What if this time Steve is old? I don't know. Either way, I'm looking forward to seeing that. I didn't expect Captain Carter to be one of my favourite characters of the series, but she actually is, so that's good. To be fair, like, she's always been cool. Like, she had her own TV show, which is pretty good. It got cancelled after 2 seasons, but, you know, it was a good show. So, you know, it's nice to see her getting more in the spotlight, even in animation. So, yeah, that is it from me for this review. I did enjoy it quite a lot. It was just a half-an-hour episode. I've talked about it so much, but I liked what they did with it. I really did. So hopefully season 2 is better, and not just as good, but better. And I think it can be, because there's so many movies they can take from. But I do want to see more Marvel Zombies and more Captain Carter, more Thanos. I don't know what they'll do with Thanos, but maybe a what if Thanos something. I don't know what. Because you can't say what if Thanos was good, because they've done that now in the T'Challa episode. So where do you go from there? I don't know. But I'd love to see something new with Thanos. Something to do with Wakanda as well. That would be quite interesting too. What else? I guess Killmonger was basically the Iron Man one, when you think about it. I don't know. You know what I'd love to see them do? They're not going to do it. But I'd love to see them do what ifs on X-Men movies, because they got the rights now. So what if The Last Stand did this instead of this? What if the Wolverine went this way instead of... You know what I'm talking about. Can you imagine they did a what if of the Fox X-Men movies, like separately to the main timeline? That would be cool. I'm just saying, that's an idea. Right? If you do that, Disney, just remember, I said it, all right? 10th of October 2021, that's when I said it. So just remember that. This is your boy Davidoff. Please like, share, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Have a good day, and see you.